I know y'all waited long enough because I know y'all wanted to get our thoughts on it. Episode 3 of the trilogy of Genius dropped on Wednesday. And this one, the last episode really detailed. I don't know if you want to call it a falling out, but definitely a separation between Cootie and Kanye, and which enabled Cootie to focus on his family life and with Cheeky, um, to get some projects out. They did the Ben Wilson doc, the Stefan Marbury documentary, and that Ben Wilson doc. There's another thing of TV that made me emotional. Like fuck, motherfucker, Ben Wilson supposed to be cold. Look what happened.
You talking about the 30 for 30?
Yeah, they did
They
that 30
shot
for
that?
30.
They shot that?
Yeah, that was theirs.
Okay, fire.
What was your thoughts on episode 3 of the
First of all, let me
document?
say shout out to Cootie, shout out to Cheeky, shout out to Kanye, shout out to Netflix. I made the doc. I'm on there. I ain't on there necessarily. I ain't on there, but I'm in there. So they got the.
Wait a minute, what?
I'm in the documentary. Shout out to me and my nigga Mike Ware, aka Lil Rock. We made the doc, nigga.
Whoa! What I missed?
When they showcased the iFest, when Ye came out for the Common iFest,
Yeah.
I was there. We were there. I'm just saying, nigga. When you put the camera out in the crowd, nigga, I'm in the crowd.
You motherfucker. I'm thinking like it's some shit of like GTI.
No. I ain't got no like a credit on there, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
You motherfucker, man.
We were there. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit. I was like, nigga, we was there. When Ye came out and performed at the iFest, which I don't understand why Common doesn't do that. He hasn't done any more of those.
I will say this.
We did that one year, but it was
yeah, and I will say this. And shouts out to my girl Chinchilla Meek, man. She told me, that it's expensive to do festivals. It's very expensive, so that's one of the reasons why, like, security and it's a lot that goes into it. So
yeah, but it looked promising, and it looked like something that would, go on as years, like how we got like Hyde Park Fest and we got Lollapalooza, and Pitchfork and all this shit like that. I just thought that was just been another one of the premier Chicago festivals, hosted by one of the most premier, Chicago musicians in Common. So I kind of on that. It looked like something that was like promising for the future. So, but I'm very happy that I was able to attend that, and it was dope to see that being showcased. And at that moment, that was one of the moments when Cootie and Ye linked back up. It was like that time span that
it was. And Common is the person who did that because he was filming behind the scenes stuff for Common. So,
but yeah, overall though, part 3 definitely was a more tougher watch than the first 2. Man. When you dealing with Kanye's mom's death, Dr. Donda West, rest in peace to her. You see, just from the first 2 episodes, you really see how pivotal she was in his life and how she was his biggest fan. And it was just like when she spoke, when she talked, and she showed so much interest in everything that Kanye was doing. It was just beautiful to see, man. Like, it was really dope. And so, like, literally, like, you kicking it off, that 3rd episode pretty much is like hit right there. Like, they showed, they showed like the work that they was doing for her foundation when they was at the House of Blues, and right before the graduation album dropped, and he answered all the questions for the kids and everything like that, and then boom, like right after that, she's dead. It was just like, it just happened so fast, bro. So that was very tough to watch. And then we get the time span of where Cootie and Kanye disconnect, and then they reconnect, and then you get to around the time frame where Kanye put out the Kids See Ghosts album with Kid Cudi, and then right around the time like with COVID hit, and he's running for president and all that stuff like that. Like, these are the moments right here, like where you see Kanye at his most vulnerable moments, like when he's dealing with bipolar, depression, and all this shit like that. And it was like crazy to see like all of this stuff being shot. And I think this is just my guess. I think when Kanye made that post and he said that he wanted to be in the editing room to get last, like, you know what I'm saying, last looks at this shit, I think he might have been like wanting to get a look at that. Like, I think he might have like been maybe
Oh hell yeah!
insecure about those, like those, like
But
all that
even
footage
more
being
than
put out because
but even more than that, Mike, it was interesting to see Cootie take the camera down and turn it off at certain moments.
at certain moments when he was having a discussion with all the motherfuckers, so like I think it looked like to me when I'm watching it, when Kanye was talking about certain things, it's kind of like he was just like talking in circles at certain moments. And I think he just
Oh
kind of was like off topic, and he just literally just started talking about other shit that just didn't have anything to do with the original conversation, bro. And it was sad, bro. It was
yeah.
sad.
But again, part of that is health and well being.
Yeah.
And like I wanna commend Cootie for taking the camera down at
Mm-hmm.
some moments.
Yeah.
Because if it was, man, let's be real, if it was some just normal documentarian who's there, they not taking that camera down.
Mm-hmm.
They not like we've been in so many places in this business with and without cameras where people like, oh no, keep watching this or keep the camera on or keep doing this, keep doing that. And in some cases, it's like, okay, because you get the scoop. This one right here, you talking about health and well-being. And that's why I bring up this article that Vice had reviewed the documentary, and I know Buddy Ass who wrote this article is probably black.
Mm-hmm.
And the I'm gonna read the caption, right? The caption on the post. It said the documentary fails to reckon with the rapper's obsession with whiteness or how that changed the course of his career.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, what? Before I go on, right? This documentary wasn't your normal doc, right? This wasn't like it was people it wasn't like footage combined with one-on-one interviews
Mm-hmm.
with people to discuss moments, people, places, things, or whatever. This is literally Cootie Simmons having a camera and just having it up and them taking that and him narrating it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like Don C or John Monopoly or Happy,
Mm-hmm.
or anybody that's sitting down and talking about these moments. This is literally him documenting, showing all of the things that he documenting and narrating about how he thought Kanye was going to be the biggest star in the world. So he's like, let's do this, do that. Then the rise of Kanye and the split, so to speak. Because I'm gonna tell you a part that got me, and that it hit me to the core.
Mm-hmm.
But the split between the two, but then how he started doing this while Kanye was starting to do that, but then getting back with Kanye, and you seeing these things in the press, but then you getting with somebody and it's like, oh shit, it's deeper than rap. So when I saw the Netflix documentary is affecting, but it doesn't reckon with the rapper's obsession with whiteness or how that changed it, and in the first sentences, I first realized Kanye West was obsessed with whiteness during his Yeezus rollout, during trips to radio shows and on YouTube. West went on the attack, punching up at the fashion industry because of perceived classism against his fashion ideas and designs. I am Warhol, he told Sway in the 2013 interview. I am the number one most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. A month later on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he listed his heroes as Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, Howard Hughes, David Stern, Michelangelo. He would repeat those names constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not realize, basically off of what we see in the documentary, that Buddy Ass is off? He's off. And the people that he named are people who at one point in time was considered what? Off. Had issues. Had it in balance. So you watch the documentary and your first thought was, damn, they didn't talk about Kanye's obsession with being white. Where was they supposed to do it at? When it was not a sit down type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Cootie got back with this man in the way that the documentary was shown. Cootie got back with this man after he started saying these things, but it was by chance. And he was like, yo, come do this. And the great thing about the Kanye joint is, as you see, he always keep the homies around.
Yeah.
The homies are black.
Mm-hmm.
You barely saw a white person in the doc. Other than like if he was talking to them on some business shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the people that you saw was his homies.
If any white people were around, they was like you said, on some business shit, or they was producers, engineers, or some shit like that.
Right. That shit like that. So does he have an obsession? I don't think this man has an obsession with white specific.
Mm-hmm.
He has an obsession of where he is in the classism structure.
Yeah.
Which just so happens to be where the white people at.
Facts. Yep.
And the people that he kept naming are people that people at one point considered crazy or off or weirdo. Like when you heard these names, like people was looking at Warhol crazy with his art. But it turned out to be some of the dopest art ever.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. Oh, what did y'all doing with this Apple shit? Walt Disney. Oh, you a weirdo with the kids. Howard Hughes. We all know that story. David Stern is the only one that I was like, all right, fam. But they did look, but David Stern turned the NBA around. Michelangelo the same.
Mm-hmm.
These are all people that people looked at crazy when they tried to do something. And then they did it. And now they looked at like one of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not me caping for Buddy, because I know that part of his issues is being involved in a system where the majority of the people are white.
Yeah.
But if you watch the documentary and that's the first thought that came to your mind, bruh, like he having a breakdown, you could tell. And instead of cutting the camera off, was Cootie supposed to say, hey man, what's your exception with white people? Like, dude, that sounds stupid. That sounds stupid. Hey man, what's your obsession with white people, fam? You can tell my man is really having a breakdown. And if you've seen this man and you've been around this man off and on for 20 years, you know how he was in 2002, 2003, 2004. He ain't the same person. We have all been around homies that we've all had a situation that we've been around homies and then we haven't been around them for a while. And then you get back around them and you like, man, buddy has off a little bit. That's the Ye situation.
And Cootie mentioned that he could tell that Kanye wasn't the same and all that stuff like that. But that's not anything that he's gonna, especially on camera. He's not gonna do that while he's filming, bro. He's not going, hey dog, you cool? You know what I'm saying? That's not a conversation that he's gonna have while he's filming these moments. And I guess whoever it is that wrote this article, that's what he was looking for. He was pretty much watching this documentary to see if that was going to be documented. And that's not what this documentary is about. This documentary is about, bro.
Right. If you look at the documentary was more than just the rise of Kanye West. It was the rise of Kanye West seen through the lens of somebody who expected greatness out of this man. But in turn, with the greatness happened, they split as he went. Mm-hmm. I was even more shocked that people didn't. I'm shocked that people wasn't out here talking about, nobody want to know the story about Cootie, nigga. But if you look at the story, it was a story, and then how they got back together. Mm-hmm. But then when Cootie gets to him, You see that shit, and even at one point, I forgot where they were at, but he put the camera to himself, was like, "Yo, we all praying for Ye, yada yada yada." Another thing is, I like the fact that when he had that breakdown, all those people came to see Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So when he had that breakdown and everybody up in that room and he talking to him and all that shit, was Dame Dash supposed to come up to him and be like, "Yo, bro,
Mm-hmm.
hey, why you want to be white? Why he's having a breakdown?" Like, I get people be wanting to do they think pieces and shit,
Yeah.
but do it. But this is the wrong. I thought that was the wrong way of taking that think piece. Because if you look at going from episode 2 into episode 3, one thing that scared me. Now I ain't gonna front. It scared me because I know how I am when it comes to doing what I want to do. Is being held back from shit and trying to overcome that, and
Mm-hmm.
how that could drive you mad.
Yep.
That could drive you crazy when people keep telling you that you can't do this or do that and putting you in the box. That could
Yep.
drive you mad.
Yeah.
And then add that to the fact that your mom's dead and you getting all this fame. That's where we want to go with the white stuff.
Yeah.
There was a many different ways. I would have rather you said, "Man, I ain't want to hear about Cootie's story. I want to learn more about Kanye West." And yeah, some shit that cut. I mean, even though I do like that part of the story, I'm just saying I would have rather him said that shit. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact of the matter is yeah, Kanye looked at that rough cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he looked at that shit, but he probably looked at shit. Hey man, I
And
know I
and
got
I
some issues.
and I think that's where I think that's pretty much the only part of the documentary that he might have wanted to have a say so in. It's the
Yeah,
last
but
part.
yeah,
I don't think
but
he could. I think that was it. Part 3. I think part 3 is where he wanted to might have his hand
yeah,
in
like
on the
let
shit.
me go look at that shit because I know I was out here bad. But the fact that my man was turning the camera down, oh shit, let me turn this motherfucking camera off, buddy ass tweak.
Yeah.
Come on, and you saw the time, and the other part about it is the timeline of the tweak. He saw it, and then he was like the next day. Damn, it's almost like you saw the tweaks happen in real time.
Yep.
Like you was there.
Yeah.
And you saw the run for president. I was like, oh, what was even eye-opening was his father.
Yeah.
Oh, his father, the conversation with his father
In the
in
when they
real time.
in the van or in the
In the
car when they
van,
when
yeah.
they're on FaceTime on
And
their
then
way
his
to
homie
the
in the back. Oh, we got him, pops, man. Shut your ass up.
is
He
he
don't even
like,
know
yo, chill
you.
out, bro?
Like, chill out, bro. He don't even know you. I grew up with him. That's my son. He come
Mm-hmm.
from me. Like, let me talk
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
But even his father, like, hey man, it's just different ways you want to have to go about it
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, somebody who got my father around, I thought that was dope. What was your thoughts on all of that shit though?
It was dope to actually see that footage, like all of that, especially when they were like in Wyoming. Obviously, he got his house, the ranch, the land. So it was good that Cootie was able to be out there and get some of that footage. Obviously we saw Dame Dash out there, we saw Justin Bieber out there, and we saw that he was out there recording. It's obviously some of the music that came from that. It's not my
Yeah.
favorite. It's not my favorite music. That he's put out. I'm gonna say this. What was dope to see though was when I think his first time getting back up with Kanye or even seeing him prior to like the iFest. After the iFest, it was the Madison Square Garden, joint with the Life of Pablo listening session.
Yeah.
So it was good that he was able to get. That was some dope footage that he got when he was up there with Kanye on stage. And what I'm saying, they was playing some of the songs.
Yeah, that was
like
dope.
With Pusha, you got Pusha up there. You had Big Sean up there, Kid Cudi, and all that shit like that. That was really, really dope. And I remember
watching that live.
I remember watching that shit live. We was watching that shit live, bro. So it's dope to actually see that he was there to get that footage. And it was, and that wasn't even on like Kanye telling him like, yo, I want you to be with me. Cootie was just happened to be like, yo, Kanye finna be at the Garden. I need to be there. I need to get this. This man releasing his fashion line, and I need to be there for that. So Cootie always made himself be in the right place at the right time, even if it wasn't him necessarily working with Kanye. Like this wasn't like how part 1 and part 2 is, where you know what I'm saying, we already know that he following Ye around and they getting all this footage. Everything else kind of just happened like sporadically and just like out of the blue and just spur of the moment type footage, which I thought was really dope. So it was good to see that. And the Jesus is King, like we got to see the footage, we got to see some of the footage from that studio session
Yeah.
and anything like that. So that was pretty much dope. Obviously, we talked about Jesus is King on here, and not some of again him recording some of that, you know, audio and anything like that. Not some of our favorite work, but at the end of the day, it's Kanye in a different element than what we normally used to seeing him. So it's good. Like I'm glad that we were able to see that, to see all, like we've seen different parts of Ye in different moments of his life when it came to music, fashion, or whatever. Like any behind the scenes footage that we were able to see that nobody else saw prior, it was dope to see, man. So I enjoyed it overall.
But I can tell you part that made me upset.
Which part?
Oh man. The Grammy after party. But my
Oh,
man kept
that
calling him
was
stupid.
tough. That was a tough watch. That was tough, bro. That was tough. That was tough to watch,
Woo!
dude.
When I say that part hit home for me.
That was tough.
Oh, when I tell you that part was tough to watch because I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, I won't name the artist or the artist, but I know how helpful I was
Mm-hmm.
because I was playing their shit when nobody else was. I was giving them interviews and putting them on when nobody else was. And as has been admitted, they got looks in other stations because of the look and the shine that I gave them.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, you see them and they act like you don't exist. That's why, for me, one of the things that, and sometimes it's to my detriment, but for my mental health, it is number one. When I was in DC, when I knew somebody from the crib was coming, I didn't act like that person knew me
Mm-hmm.
or had history with me or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want it to be a situation where I'm talking this, oh yeah, man, I was playing buddy ass music back here, boom, boom, boom. We put him on. Shit, I got his number. Yeah, we was cool back then, you know, boom, boom, boom. And then you see him and it's like, oh, what's your name? Oh, okay, J.R. Bang. Oh, okay, cool. Cause that I didn't do that one day, but with this one particular artist, Buddy ass walked up in my office, in my studio, and I know he's been around me plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the math. And Buddy ass act like he ain't know who I was. And niggas was like, yo, hey, you from the, like, yeah, ain't you from Chicago Bang? You know such and such? I was like, yeah, what's good? Nigga was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at me like I was like some broody. I went back in my office, was like, all right, well, y'all do the interview. And my mans came back out and was like, man, thought Chicago niggas know everybody from Chicago. I was like, yeah, they do, but we won't even go there. And
Yeah.
I ain't never had no bad interaction with this person.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other part about that. Like, it's happened to me a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that it didn't work, like that it worked in like a different way, is when Rotimi came up, and I just was like, I'm gonna go get him from the elevator because I know y'all doing y'all show.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in to the vestibule, and I was like, "Yo, what's good, fam?" And he looked at me like, "Wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
bang!"
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Oh shit, what you doing out here? And then when he got up in the studio, he told everybody in the studio how me and Big Med was the first people to give him interviews and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people in there was like, "Yo, that's my man's," and like talking about Rotem. He's like, "Yeah, that's my man's. I did this." He was like, "No, Bang helped me out so much.
Mm-hmm.
We even did X, Y, and Z."
Yeah.
And when he left, folks was like, "Yo, what you do?" And I was like, "Man, don't even worry about it. That's old shit." So when I saw Cootie doing that interview and he kept calling him cheeky,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, I know he got to be feeling sick." Because he got to be feeling sick. It's you go play your game, fam. You see what I'm doing. Close my door. But nah, you see what you he was there at the beginning. He believed in you when Marks didn't believe in you. Enough that he was like, "Yo, let me go get the camera." He's been in your house. He slept in your house. He's done all of this. You win your next round of Grammys and you slap. You can't be that slap to not know who he is.
Bruh, that was tough.
And at the end of it, you can tell, like, I didn't catch the audio, but he like, "Man, hey man, stop calling me cheeky." He called him the nigga that ain't from the crib. He called him the man that met at MTV. That shit blew me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I probably would have stole off yet. Or during the interview, I would have stopped that shit like, "Fam, don't call me buddy ass name like that one more." I would have stopped the interview like, "Nah, we good." Cause then I would have like, "You know what? Homie slapped. I ain't trying to put him on TV, trying to do this interview with him slap.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about it." But me, it's either that or I would have muffed his ass. Like, "Fam, stop calling me him. You know who I am."
Yeah.
But again, I felt them because I've been in that position where you the forgotten one.
Mm-hmm.
They forget about you out of what you did, or you think they forgot about you, because it probably was a lapse in judgment. He's slapped because we seen what that man do off Hennessy.
Yeah.
When
Oh yeah.
took the shit from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But to that was the Nelson. Was not Nelson. What's my man name on The Simpsons? Ralph. When you saw his heartbreak in real time,
yeah,
was the second time he called him cheeky. The first one, it was like, all right, he slapped. The second one, it was like, third time, I would have muffed him. It wouldn't have been no fourth or fifth time, G. But overall, man, I thought it was very eye-opening. Looking at it, try to get a man breaks now, because in vulnerable moments you get to see how my man there, but there's a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate when he put his white voice on.
I hate it.
I hate his white voice.
I hate his. And
I
that's
hate
one
Kanye's
of the
white voice.
And when I was reading that article, the only thing that's one of the moments when you say the obsession with whiteness is he switched his voice, literally changed. Like he changed his voice on his own. Like Ye talked a certain way, and then when it got to about like around the time when Yeezus came out, that's when the voice change kind of kicked in.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate his voice.
I never understood that when he did interviews, how he pronunciated his words when he literally was just like talking in the.
I just want to be with my people.
I never got that. I never
But I hate that
understood.
shit. I hate his over the phone voice.
Never understood how he, you know what I'm saying, maintained that. And, I think he still continues to do that
Yeah,
to this day.
he
Not as
did it.
much, though.
No, he did it in the Jace. He did it in the brunch thing. You seen the brunch
Nah,
they
I didn't see
did?
the. I didn't see
The
that. I didn't
Black
see that.
Futures brunch?
Using the white voice.
Yeah, dude, using the white voice.
Yeah, I don't know
Black
what that is.
creators
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
should be put on pedestals.
yeah, I don't know what that is.
Virgil,
Yeah,
Balenciaga,
yeah, that's Ye right there.
Ralph Lauren. Like I hate the over the phone voice.
Yeah, that's that
I
new
hate
Kanye.
that shit.
That's that
I
new
I
Kanye.
I I I don't want to hear no rapper or I don't want to hear no artist over the phone voice. Jay-Z got a little bit of that shit too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not like Nas is the only rapper that just sounds the same anytime you talk, everywhere you talk. I don't know, it's because sometimes Jay-Z might talk amongst white people,
Mm-hmm.
so it sound like it changed.
Yeah.
But sometimes Jay-Z be on this,
Mm-hmm. A
you know,
little bit.
Basquiat, and it sound like my man is like talking to like ComEd about his bill.
Oh, excuse. Mm-hmm.
Like it's sometimes like it's like, sir, my bill says 336. I understand that, but I got an extension and I paid 150 at the same time, so my bill shouldn't be 336. Can we get this rectified, sir? Thank you. These marks be talking like they trying to change their ComEd bill, and it irritates the hell out of me, fam. Like I don't even talk like this during like when I have interviews. I don't. So how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself. Well, I'm
Yeah.
from Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
I currently live in Plainfield, Illinois. I be, hey, I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
There you go.
Uh, yeah, so I have 3 kids and I got a beautiful wife.
I think when it comes to Hove, I think he knows when to kind of like turn it on, turn it
Yeah, I
off.
have a 7
But Ye just
year old. When they Fools Day.
that ain't like he keeping it all the way real.
Yeah, like
At all times.
uh, what I'm saying is, especially in Kanye's case, man, my man hit that. You don't have the answer, Sway. And he really sound like Dennis the Menace or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, that would be blowing me. Like, let's leave the over the phone voice for when you talking to AT&T trying to get your bill down. Leave the over the phone voice there. When you're around your people, man, stay away from the over the phone voice. And Kanye he has to fix his over the phone voice. It's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what he is doing. I'm just saying that he gotta put some bass in it a little bit. Just fix it. Just tweak it. Cause
ain't no tweaking it.
Kanye go from sounding like 79th in May to, hey, sir, I'm calling because I received my bill from you, from Comcast, for $300, and it says that I had a technician come out, and for a technician it cost $100. But the reason why the technician came out because it was an error on your part. So how can we get this $100 removed from my bill? Thank you. Sir, no, I am not. As you see, I have not raised my voice. I am cool. I am calm. I am collective. I'm just trying to see how we can fix this situation. Thank you. Can I please speak with a manager? Thank you. Like, that's how they sound.
Yeah.
So, now one thing I will, before we move on, now knowing the story behind Cootie and Kanye's relationship, what would you have, and knowing that they were apart for a while, got back together, so there's a lot of shit that he missed.
Oh yeah.
So thinking about what he was there for, not what he missed, what he was there for, from what we saw, What would you have liked to saw more of in the documentary?
More late registration sessions.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't there for graduation.